How's everybody doing today? Just go ahead and unmute, break the ice. Jeanette, how are you?
Hi, Keith.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. It's good. We're just letting a bunch more people come in. Great to see everyone. And we will get started in a minute here. And nice to see you, Keith, as always.
Hi, Jeanette.
Hi, Susan. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Oh, this is a bunch of friendly faces. So this is going to be fun.
Isn't it always?
Always, yes.
You have that limitless energy, or at least that's what the rest of us perceive. You may not feel that yourself, but the rest of us see that you just have this an incredible source of energy that's always gushing and pushing everybody forward. It's great.
Thank you. My daughter gets the other side, but that's okay. All right, it is 10:01. Let's get started. We have a jam-packed 30-minute breakout session today. I'm going to go through a few housekeeping items before kicking off. A reminder that the session is being translated. Click on the globe at the bottom of the window and select French if you are interested in that. A reminder to log into Slido. The code for the session is #CETA Cleantech. And so you can be posing different questions and inquiries there. We encourage people to put their hand up to ask questions or interact with the speakers as well. So the first 10 minutes, we'll be having a bit of a presentation format and then opening it up to the other folks. The session will be recorded, and if you don't want to be recorded, don't share your video, but please do stay engaged via chat and Slido. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jeanette Jackson. I'm the CEO of Foresight. We are hyper passionate about everything clean tech and sustainability when it comes to helping industry and investors and communities innovate and look at innovation as a source of opportunity to reach the climate targets that all of us are steadfast on achieving. You can always visit our website if you want to get more information on that, because really the purpose of today is to highlight and showcase two amazing women who are leaders, thought leaders, business leaders in everything circular economy and sustainability. I won't take all of the fun out of them introducing themselves, but Liz Madaras, co-founder and CEO of Polyloop, holds a master's degree in chemical and pharmaceutical engineering and a bachelor's degree in bioengineering with a focus on biotechnology. Liz discontinued her PhD studies to focus all her efforts on a business. And so we all know, many of us know what that kind of decision and transition can look like. So very exciting. Since founding Polyloop, Liz has led the company through the Techstars Hub 71 Accelerator and recently closed a seed round of funding with Vespucci Partners of Budapest. I will let her dive into the rest. The second guest that we have is Karen. Karen is co-founder and CEO of Livestock Water Recycling, the global leader of digitalized manure treatment technology, and named one of the top ag tech companies to watch in 2020 by Successful Farming magazine. Karen Schuett oversees integration between LWR's overall corporate strategy and its focus on innovation. So I'm going to pass it over to Liz to start. She's going to give a short presentation and lead into this open collaborative dialogue that we'll have today. Liz, over to you.
Hi, Jeanette. Thank you so much, and thank you everyone for being here. I have prepared a very short, small presentation to you, and I'm here to talk about plastics. We've been using plastics for about 70 years now. And in those 70 years, we've made more plastic than we did people. And why is that? The plastics are light, they're durable, they're cheap, they're easy to make. They've made our lives super convenient and helped improve living standards all over. And we use them in the pharmaceutical industry, in the food industry, in cars, toys, tools, everywhere. And plastics have become as ubiquitous as we are, and wherever we go, plastics follow. And this could be a good thing, right? And it's a mix. Good in the sense that convenience and safety is good, because plastics can shield us from COVID, for example, through face shields. but it's bad in the sense that we've made so much plastic that our current technologies cannot deal with them at all. I don't know how to change my slides. So in the 70 years that we've had plastics, we've managed to recycle a staggering 1.72% of all plastic waste that we've made. And even nowadays, where technologies have gotten better, from the 300 million tons of plastic waste that we make, 90% ends up mismanaged. This means that it either gets incinerated, we dump it in legal or illegal dumps, or it leaks into the environment. That is obviously unsustainable. There is a reason behind all this mismanagement, though, and the reason is that technologies are not there yet. We use dozens upon dozens of polymers, and we have a good recycling technology for 2 at best. And we also have problems separating good plastics from bad plastics. Waste management companies are oftentimes met with dirty and unusable plastics, and this phenomena is called recycling. And honestly, I sympathize with recyclers. I used to be one. I used to take every little sticker off of every fruit and put it into the yellow bin. And I was astonished and sad when I found out what happened with all my stickers that I put in the recycle bin. And this led me down the path towards actually trying to use my education for something good. We decided to co-found Polyloop with my friend Christina, where we developed a different type of approach towards dealing with plastics. Because usually we think of plastics only in the technosphere, something very, very specific. We wash them, we grind them, we make new plastics out of them, even though that's not always true. Through our process, we take these plastics from the technosphere and take it back into the biosphere to which they once belonged eons ago. So recently, what I've been doing with my unusable plastic waste, I've been taking it to the lab and I've been polylooping it. And polylooping basically means feeding these plastics to our bacteria. This process is a bit unorthodox because we use biology to get rid of something which has nothing to do with biology itself. But what we found is that at the end process, we have a usable biomass that can be integrated back into nature, and we can use it in agriculture. I feel, just on a closing note, that many young people are under the impression that economics and environmentalism are always at odds with each other, and we have to choose one or the other. And I really want everyone to think about it a different way. They're not at odds with each other. They have to work together for us to be able to improve standards of living and give a sustainable outcome to our planet. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Liz. That's a great opening. I'm right away going to pass it over to Karen Schuett. Karen, please jump in and tell us what you're working on and what you're up to.
Thank you so much. And it's so exciting to hear about what Liz is doing, because I was saying to my husband the other day, I couldn't sleep the other night because I was thinking about single-use plastics. So this is the kind of stuff that keeps me up at night. I'm so glad to hear someone working so successfully on it. So likewise, we're looking at a waste product that is a friend and a foe. We are currently using technology, including data and machine learning, to modernize a really old practice of storage and land spreading of large volumes of livestock waste and manure. Like saying plastics are friends and foe, likewise with manure. Manure is an essential, perfect natural fertilizer containing all 14 nutrients required by plant growth. But when it's mass produced by large farms, we have no way to move it properly to where it needs to be. Our team came from a 20-year background in wastewater treatment. And when we sort of discovered manure, we were new to it, and we discovered it, I say we jumped into manure with both feet. We were looking to create value from waste and create an economic opportunity for farms. Our technology platform is like a small water treatment plant, to get installed directly on farms and receive manure before it ever goes to storage. We are, in fact, partnered with 2 European companies that make up critical components of our process equipment right now. Our technology is unique in that it is fully automated, transmits data using sensors to our cloud to allow operation monitoring by smartphone. It concentrates all this waste into 2 distinct fertilizers by separating out all the valuable organics, nitrates, phosphorus, potassium, and all the important micronutrients that our crop growth needs but is deficient on right now. And it recycles clean, potable water, so nothing is wasted in the process. Our clients right now are dairy farms, hog producers, as well as facilities with anaerobic digesters where they have food waste and they're using that to produce biogas. We have systems installed across the US, in the Middle East, and we've just started working in the EU last year. Our clients buy the technology to reduce their manure costs and greenhouse gas emissions by up to 82%. And because of all of this, we see tremendous opportunity in the agriculture industry in the EU, especially with the green recovery programs, specifically targeted to the farm to fork blueprint for sustainable agriculture. The progressive funding that we have seen introduced in the European Union is leading the world with respect to the environment and circular economy. And we have been engaged so far in 3 lighthouse applications to showcase how we can help European ag producers meet new regulations and make money from waste. I guess last off, I'd just like to say that we are bringing a specialized nutrient technology from Canada to the EU while learning from the progressive ag industry in the EU. The European Union leads the world in anaerobic digestion installation. There are over 20,000 installations in the EU, while there are less than 500 in all of North America. So this industry has a lot to teach us. Right now, we are on track to recycle 1 billion gallons of manure this year, and we're looking to grow that into 1 trillion by scaling geographically through partnerships in the EU.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Karen. You know, we're keeping it quite casual and we don't have any questions yet, but one of the questions I love to ask founders and entrepreneurs is, you know, what inspired you to go in the space? So Liz, you know, what was that moment where you thought, I need to go in all in on this and make that decision with your education path to be an entrepreneur?
Well, it was also a bit of an entrepreneurial spirit where we wanted to build something which is our own. And secondly, or maybe even firstly, it was kind of anxiety about our environment and our future. And we were just sitting there like, oh my God, we have these degrees. What are we going to do with it? And the most logical thing was, let's try to solve plastic waste. It seems very naive and ambitious, but we set ourselves down that path.
Awesome. Karen, what about you?
Very similarly, I would say I'd echo those comments about just anxiety about where water treatment was going. I mean, probably 10 years ago, I read a statistic that said that only 4% of the world's water was recycled for reuse. And I thought, how can it be 4%? I mean, this just seems like a ridiculous notion that we wouldn't be recycling all of our water. So it really was driven out of a water interest. And then by coming at it from a water angle, we realized that there was a real circular economy opportunity here where we could remove valuable fertilizers and create good economics, whether it went into fertilizer or biogas, but we could create excellent economics while cleaning the water. So it was sort of a side situation.
Yeah. No, that's super fascinating. Over the last year, what have you seen for the space? I mean, you know, obviously since COVID hit, a lot of the recovery packages and conversations around climate and sustainability potentially have the opportunity to accelerate your commercialization trajectory. Karen, how have you seen the last year? What indicators are there that that this is going to be a really hot space in the coming years?
The last year, we have seen something like no other before in all of our years in working in water treatment. The promotion of corporate ESG has been like no other. As well, we are seeing disease examination around food production that we've never seen before. When we look at Canada and the European Union, something we have in common is an export of pork to all over the world and including into China. And as we've seen, China has struggled with their pork production and African swine fever control. So in that, we have seen an embrace like never before around connecting the dots between manure and disease and how we prevent that by creating clean water from manure. So with respect to ESG and funding and programs highlighting clean tech, it's just been busier than we've ever seen.
Yeah, nutrient recycling has come up in more conversations for me over the last several years than I'd seen in my previous 5 years with Foresight as both an EIR and in this role. Liz, what about you? What indicators are you seeing that make you really excited about the future?
So I think that both the European Union and Canada have very, very stringent laws on how you have to treat waste. And I'm very excited about plastic export waste bans, where richer countries cannot export their problems to other regions in the world. I think it was needed, and I'm very happy that it's actually going into effect. And I've also seen that from the side of plastic producers and polluters, there's a shift towards actually trying to be more sustainable with the way how they produce plastic and also what they do with plastic in the end.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, let's go to some questions from the audience for both of you, and we'll just keep kind of going back and forth. Liz, in opposite orders, you know, have you had any challenges, or have you seen new opportunities being a woman in the clean tech space?
It's complicated being a woman in any space, I think. For me, coming as someone from an engineering background where it's more of a male-dominated field, and also going into business, which is also a more male-dominated field, I do see that we're in the minority. And since I've never been a man, I don't know what the flip side of this experience is like. I know my own challenges, and I have spoken with women who share these challenges, be it that they're not taken seriously as soon as a man is, or their credentials are questioned more often, or they have to do more to be believed. But all in all, I think my experience has been positive. Even adversity has made me more resilient. And in the clean tech sector specifically, I think that it does need both female and male entrepreneurs to have a truly impactful future.
Karen, what about you?
Yeah, I would echo that as well. I think clean tech is a group that has a lot of women that are getting engaged. A lot of women are really focused on clean tech and their role in climate change and the planet, the future of the planet. I think coming from an ag tech world, there's very few women in ag tech, and so I have sought out opportunities to network with other women. Different accelerators that I've been involved with have been so wonderful, having 50% of their portfolio and their accelerator being women CEOs. So that's been fantastic. We also were part of a Google accelerator for women women founders. That was an excellent opportunity to connect with other women CEOs, and then have that mentoring from, you know, very successful tech women. I think the Canadian clean tech world has also been pretty wonderful to me as a woman. I mean, you know, there's of course been, like Liz says, there's things where you're not taken seriously and etc. But women in clean tech in Canada has a great cohesive group that helps each other out and lifts each other up and provides events like this and opportunities. The BDC has a great clean tech program and a Women in Technologies program. And then also the Canadian Trade Commission has been just wonderful to us as far as bridging the gap for us in other countries. And that's just non-discriminatory about whether you're male or female, they're going to help you out. So those are some access points that have been wonderful as a woman.
That's great. That's great. Liz, where are you on your commercialization path?
I did see that it's more regarding on the piloting with waste management. What we've noticed is that we're approached much more often by plastic producers and polluters than waste management. And because of this, we think that waste management will be the second adopter after we have run successful pilots with the producing side of the plastic waste value chain. Here you can think FMCGs or chemical companies that are more interested, and we do have some very, very good leads towards actually having a pilot with them this year or early next year.
Awesome. And Karen, I mean, my understanding is that you've been in market with different technologies and solutions for some time, but you're continuing to evolve. So what are the top, what's the top one or two, technology priorities that you have on your, roadmap?
Yeah, data. Really, we're working, we're on version 3 of our technology platform, of our water treatment platform. So we are looking for full automation, data accumulation, and then what do we do with that data? How do we feed that into farm management systems so that it produces the best possible opportunity for the farm, economic and environmental? That data is essential for having the farm be able to make the best choices about whether they access biogas creation with their carbon or whether they sequester carbon on their land and access opportunity for carbon credits, and how they use their nutrients. And we can see this really in the European Union, where certain areas are looking for nutrients for crop growth and certain areas have an overabundance of those nutrients. So accessing the data of how much actual nutrient is produced per farm and then where it needs to go is what we think is the most valuable part of our platform going forward. And as well, we've introduced a machine learning application on our platform that takes in IoT data from the surrounding environment to bring that in and inform that, country specific or even district specific.
Great. Okay, we've got 2 minutes left. I've got one closing question. What are some tips or resources or recommendations, Karen, that you would make for Canadian companies trying to go to the EU? And then Liz, I'll pass it back to you for the opposite question there.
Yeah, I would say number one, the Canadian Trade Commissioners are fantastic in-country resources, and they've been just wonderfully generous to us as we've grown. And number two is corporate accelerators. If you can get involved in something like we've done with Cargill or Nestle or different types of accelerators that bring you into connect with their corporate partners, that's a wonderful way to get into a large corporation like that.
And Liz, for you?
For us, it's been working together with the Hungarian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. That was a very direct link. but also I can set them taking part in accelerators, be them Canadian or global, because you will meet a lot of people who have a lot of connections. Also, universities could be a good starting point if you're more into research like we are, or biotech hubs, which accept biotech from all over, and Canada does have some of those. I think those are a good entry points.
Glorious. Well, thank you. It's time is up already. I feel like we're just starting to scratch the surface on how this conversation could evolve. I think everyone is so bullish on not just clean tech, but circular economy and how that can impact communities and really start to integrate into the economic infrastructure of so many different regions globally. And so thank you so much for sharing more about your companies and your ventures and your passion for the space. Everyone will have an opportunity for a 5-minute break. So please take a break and come back at 10:30 for the next sessions, 10:30 Pacific, later if you're on a different time zone. And Karen and Liz, thank you so much. I look forward to connecting with you again soon, as I'm sure some of the other attendees will as well. Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.